super pumped. We have a bunch of great companies, and we have a bunch of great investors who are going to be judging the panel as well. And yeah, we're going to be kicking things off here in just a few minutes. We'll let some more people come in and join. I know we have a lot of people here waiting to come in, so let me start letting some more people in here. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. I'm going to introduce to our partner for this event, James, who runs NYC Pitch Night. James, do you want to say a few words about who you are and what you do as well?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Really excited about tonight. For the first time, me and Michael and Entre are partnering up to bring you what I think is going to be a really exceptional pitch competition with 6 companies, 4 judges, various stages. So it should be a good show and very educational. As Mike said, I'm the founder of Pitch Night NYC. We are a startup events company focused mostly on pitch competitions. And we also do startup consulting, mostly in pitch decks, pitching, investor strategy. And I'm also the co-founder of 305 Works, which is a Miami-based startup consulting organization, and currently the director of the Founder Institute Florida chapter, where we help take MVP stage companies through our 14-week accelerator program, giving them all of the tools, resources they need to get into the market and launch their businesses. And I'm looking forward to seeing the stories from everybody tonight and hearing lots of yours. So just to get the conversation started, you know, we've moved to digital, and it's not all a bad thing. We're now able to reach a wider audience. As you'll see, some of our companies tonight are from various places around the country, and I imagine most of you are too. So drop in the chat or just start shouting it out. Where are some people from that are, you know, not necessarily the New York area? What do we got on the line tonight?
We got Annapolis, Maryland, but we're still in the Mid-Atlantic region with you, though.
Yeah, nice. Welcome, Nia. Looking forward to your pitch later on, too. Yeah, and all right, we got some California people. Okay, fantastic. I know there's a few people from Pittsburgh, New York, Charlotte. Fantastic. We got some more people in Frederick, Maryland. I think that's probably close to DC. We got LA in the building, Oakland. Nice. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Pittsburgh, Brooklyn. Sweet.
Awesome. A lot of great locations.
Yeah, feel free to share your companies and stuff too. Like we are going to do some breakout sessions after the pitches are done as well, so that if you want to stick around and network with some of the other attendees, you'll be able to do that. There's still a lot of people coming in. Looks like we just crossed over 50 people, but we should be around 100 later on as some people start coming in a little bit later. We're just kicking things off, but yeah, please introduce yourselves. TJD, what's up, everybody? Brian Williams, recognizing some faces or some names here. Jordan, awesome. This is great. And I think all the judges are here. So I'd love for each of the judges to introduce themselves so that we can get a little bit more background on the investors who are going to be judging and sharing some advice and insights to the companies. Scott, do you want to kick things off, or James, is there anything else that you wanted to say real quick before we move into the investor introductions?
Nope. I think I covered it. Let's give our judges a chance. So go ahead, Scott, kick us off.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, I'm Scott Kallick, residing in beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm an angel investor. I'm part owner of Entre, life, business, and success coach, father, husband to be, mustard lover. Glad to be here with everybody. Looks like a great kickoff and great lineup of people to be judging tonight. So look forward to being with you this evening.
Fantastic. Thank you, Scott. Glad to have you on board for another one of our events. I'm also going to launch a poll here real quick so that we can learn more about you guys and what you guys are looking for and what you guys need, whether you're starting a company or trying to scale and grow your company. If you look in the pool section at the bottom there, as we're going through some of these introductions, you can fill that out too. Nisha, what is up? How are you? And I would love to introduce yourself to the rest of the audience and give them a little bit of background about yourself and NDAF Capital.
Absolutely. Michael, it's great to be joining the Entre ecosystem again. I am here in New York City. I am the managing partner and founder of NDAF Capital, which is an early stage investment firm focused on underserved founders and sustainability aligned value drivers for above market returns. But at its essence, we are still a financial first and early stage firm, thinking that our investment history demonstrates that this is really the most opportunistic part of the private equity and venture capital market. It's folks who don't traditionally have access to, Silicon Valley capital networks trying to capitalize their very viable ideas and their human capital.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. We're thrilled to have you involved with another event. I think Megan, are you on from SeedInvest? She's here. What's up, Megan? How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. Yeah. Please introduce yourself and tell us more about SeedInvest and what.
Absolutely. So SeedInvest is an investment platform, first and foremost. We have about 400,000 investors where we're facilitating Reg D and Reg CF offerings. We're also a fund. We probably invest in about 20% of the offerings that come through our investment platform. Prior to SeedInvest, about a year ago, I graduated and got my MBA. And prior to that, I spent 6 years in investment banking, kind of in the innovation and capital strategies group, trying out new innovative ways of using very traditional retail and investment banking products. So I focus mostly on FinTech and EdTech, but I also lead our female founder initiative, similar to Nisha, trying to get a lot more diversity of founders. And I'm also from the South, so always looking for a good Southern entrepreneur.
Amazing. We're thrilled to have you with us. And yeah, we're looking forward to doing more stuff with you guys at SeedInvest too, and helping more startups. I think there's a lot of opportunity for alternative ways of raising capital. So we're definitely going to be doing more stuff with equity crowdfunding and workshops and all sorts of stuff. So glad to have you on board for this event. And lastly, Josh, are you here? And would love to have you introduce yourself and share more about your firm and everything.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Hi, everybody. Nice to be here. So my name is Josh Kuzon. I'm a partner at Reciprocal Ventures, early stage venture capital firm based in New York City. Came together a few years ago, three partners, all, coming out of financial services with operating experience, and really set out to be active investors in the, emerging FinTech space, just create, great relationships with early stage companies and try to get them to their next milestones. So we invest seed through Series B, pretty much exclusively in FinTech. We focus on, areas that we know really, really well. So that's like capital markets, things around payments, banking, lending, commerce, financial management software, and a bit in the crypto blockchain space. And yeah, looking forward to chatting with everybody.
Amazing. Well, we're pumped for this. I think this is going to be a great event. I'm going to get things rolling here. James, is there anything that you wanted to add? And for those of you guys just coming in to, please introduce yourselves into the chat. We will be doing some networking after the pitches, but I think we're ready to kick things off. with the first pitch. James, is there anything else that you wanted to add real quick?
No, I think let's dive into the first pitch.
Okay, wonderful. I am also going to drop quick link here too. If you guys want to, we just rolled out early access for our app so that you can connect with other entrepreneurs pretty much at all times from your phone. We just rolled out our website as well, so you can check that out and download the app there. We really just want to make it easy for people to find co-founders, developers, investors more accessibly, and also just like get into a like-minded community of people so you can ask questions and find other entrepreneurs in your city and everything as well. So wanted to make sure we got that. It looks like we have most of the people in the waiting room in, so I think we're all set here. And all the judges, you have your scorecards, correct? You got access to that Google Sheet before we kick off. I want to make sure we're good on that. Nisha?
Yeah.
Good?
Yep.
Megan, you good? Josh? Okay, sweet. All right, fantastic. Okay, well, without further ado, let's kick things off here. We have Flyon going first. And what we decided to do for this, since we really had 6 great companies, three of which were more at the seed stage, and then 3 of which were more at the pre-seed stage. So we're actually going to do 2 kind of parts to this. The first part's going to be the pre-seed. So we're going to have Flyon, SyncBooks, and Mainsail pitch. And we'll have the judges score those. We'll tally them up, and we'll do a first, second, third for them. And then we're going to do the part 2, which is going to be the seed pitch, which is going to be Numio, ProtoShore, and Deliver. And we can kick things off here. Flyon, are you all set?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yep. Yeah, we're good. Let me get the stopwatch here. And again, just so the judges are aware too, it's going to be 5 minutes for the pitch and then 5 minutes for the judges Q&A. And, obviously we're not going to cut off the judges, but the pitches is going to be pretty tight on the 5 minutes. So whenever you're ready, I'll kick off the stopwatch and we'll get things rolling. Looks like you're sharing your screen already, which is great. And I'm ready when you are.
All right, thank you very, very much for having me. We are Flyon. We empower business travelers to get instant refund on flight delays. And let me ask you a quick question first. Anyone travel to Puerto Rico? Raise your hand. Thank you. This is a beautiful island, isn't it? Well, this is me on the left after 2 weeks at the beach. And this is me on the right at the airport being miserable because of flight delays. I'm sure that everyone can relate to it. And hours become months when I try to get my money back with the insurance claim being terrible. Not only the travel insurance players offer a mediocre process to travelers, but they're also missing out on a bunch of missed opportunity in revenues because of non-returning customers. So what happened in the corporate space? So if you are David Wells, the CFO of Dunder Mifflin's, travel rhymes with struggle, and you hate budgeting and travel expenses, and you know that your business travel and your team are very concerned about delays and cancellation, as you can see on the screen. But fortunately, Flyon resolved for those, and we're doing 3 ways. So if you're a client of us, you maximize cost saving up to 87% increase in delay refunds against competitor. We automate the claims. This is done same day, no question asked. And finally, you travel smart because our predictive delays analytics help you pick and choose flights with the least chance of delay. How do we do it? Well, we got a great team. We total combined of 3,000 years of experience. Just kidding, more like 120 years. We also decentralized. And finally, as you can see, we learn our skills in corporate Americas. So how do we do it? No better ways to actually show you the hard cash dollar amount that we actually bring back to the clients. And here's a comparative between traditional coverage ourselves and the difference, which is what the clients benefits in terms of how much daily refunds they can get out of our product. So now I want to address real quick, elephant in the room, newsflash, COVID changed everything, obviously, especially for travel. But we view it as a silver lining, and you can see that on the right chart. The airport delays has been flattening overall, the same way that the virus curve has been flattening. And I want to highlight two things. The first one, travel insurance is being front and center in everybody's mind. And second, business travel is going to be transforming, and that's with the help of technology and innovation companies such as us. So talking about markets. So our blockchain analytics and parametric model opens up for a very large market opportunity, but we started out by a niche market, which is US-centric corporate travel, which is our beachhead. And when we achieve that, we can actually scale up to niche retail and also international. Where do we make money? Well, so we differentiate ourselves by having skin in the game. So not only we're going to be licensing per transaction with our insurance and our clients, but we'll also be rewarded on performance, which is essentially the percentage of claim refunds we manage to get our clients back. So having talked about markets and revenue, here we're showing the projection for the next 10 years. So we started up as a SaaS software product, and at the year Mark 3, we'll be able to go past COVID and also become an insurance MGA and multiply our gross margin revenue. So in terms of our strategy, main focus is B2B enterprise, and we work with mid-market CFO, procurement manager, GPOs, and OTAs. And we actually doing a lot of daily grind in terms of LinkedIn, VGen, and working on network. How do we stack up with the competition? Well, we identified two risk assumptions, simplicity and intelligence. Fly on, check all the boxes. On the flip side of it, both the underdogs and the dinosaur, the traditional insurance, are failing to meet these objectives. So let's brag for a second. Three things. So first one, we have a beta MVP ready to be tested. Invite everyone to check it out. We are part of the Accelerate VI startup program. It's going to help us with GTM and investor relationship. And finally, we have great footprint with the blockchain and digital asset community. And we had a blast in the Wyoming hackathon back in September. Exit strategy, because we combine automation, analytics, and machine learning, we think there's three verticals, insurance, travel, and tech, that can be interested in acquiring us. Finally, 2020 has been fun for everyone. It's been very fun for us, and we're starting the very even more fun process of fundraising. And our target raise is 1.75. And with that, we can deliver what we call a premium platform, which is all the standard features of the MVP plus bonus capability in terms of having a data scientist, full-time, modular blockchain, advanced UX, and mobility. Thanks, everyone. Don't forget to check us out online and social media.
Awesome. Right on time. All right, perfect. Thank you, Jan. That was amazing. Let's get into the judges Q&A here real quick. And just a reminder to judges, you guys all have your own tabs on that Google Sheet too, by the way, to do the scoring. And yeah, whoever wants to kick it off, go for it.
Hey, Jan, this is Megan.
Hi.
I was just going to ask about competition. I've seen a couple companies doing this, at least on the direct-to-consumer side. So I think you understand there's a lot of incumbents in the market, and it's a difficult industry to try to go up against. How are you thinking about, pricing? How have you validated that thus far to kind of differentiate yourself against this competition?
Yeah, it's a very good question. As I said, B2C is a small segment. We're not going to be spending a ton of time on it. I think we have a better value prop for enterprise, right? And now where we're testing the water in terms of pricing and how much we can get back, the money to the client is essentially, this diagram here. Here we can essentially refund 9 to 10 times more than our competition with literally no admin costs. So operation costs just compresses to zero. And for that reason, we're slightly more expensive on the premium side, but the net value is tremendous. And then I've been showing that to GPOs, corporate CFOs, and revenue manager. They like the value. They like the cash amount back in their pockets. That's the feedback that I have.
Jan, what kind of haircut have you made in your assumptions for B2B market penetration post-COVID, right? We know that a portion of, enterprise travel and corporate travel will continue, but a large portion of it may never come back and corporates won't have the willingness to pay. So how does that affect your sort of growth and break-even analysis here?
Yeah, so I think the common understanding about haircuts is about 40%, right? So players in the industry are thinking about the 60% capacity January 1st on travel altogether. Now, business travel, as you said, is probably going to be well off because traveling for investor, client meeting, and so forth is going to be necessary. But I think there's also like one component that we should not forget, which is consumer revenge vacation, right? So a lot of people are going to be like rushing to actually compensate for those 6 months that we've been through in our in our projects department and whatnot, and people want to travel as much as possible. So COVID safety measures are repellent, but people willingness to actually go back to travel are going to be like kind of compensating for that. So that being said, 2021 should be in the 60% capacity from a year ago.
Jan, looks like you have a pretty top-heavy team. How do you look to keep your team financed and through your growth? And what type of raise are you expecting to do to get yourself off the ground?
Okay, so right now we're bootstrapping, right? So we pre-seed for the criteria of Entre, and then the capital raise is what I was showing here. So this is 1.75 is a 2-year runway. Obviously, the founding team is going to be paid a very small amount, just the marginal amount. Most of it is going to go to platform development, so blockchain, full stack, DevOps, analytics, and machine learning, and obviously like part of it is going to be marketing, GTM, right? But having said that, we have the scenario 2, which is the MVP, where we can take off the ground without having the extra features, but we think we can operate for 2 years and having a great product for our clients.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you approached at all SAP IO or SAP? They bought Concur, and it looks like this might be a viable add-on to an existing enterprise, T&E or travel management system within corporates rather than a standalone product.
Yeah, that's right. Integration is probably phase 2 for us. SAP Concur, Trip Action. Actually, if anything, they're more the innovator in the field. Definitely on the roadmap. I reached out to the CEO a few times. It's been in the work. I would appreciate any intro if you guys know anyone at Trip Action or SAP. But that's definitely something we want because at first we'll be integrating just, let's say, an Excel, let's say dump export that we can analyze and process the data and the execution. But at the end of the day, we want to connect to GDS, TMC, or the travel management system that matters for those corporates. You're absolutely right.
Okay, great. I think that's it. Jan, thank you so much. That was amazing. We'll give it a couple minutes here for the judges to tally up their scores. We have Sync Books up next. So if you want to come on and we'll get him set up as we get the judges' scores all tallied. Okay. Almost done. Desai, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay,
Yep.
there we go. Cool. All right, sweet. You want to pull up your you're going to do the video first, right?
Yep. If you guys can't hear it, just maybe give me like a thumbs down. I'm assuming you guys, because I won't be able to tell. So okay.
I'll just stay on at the beginning to make sure I can hear it.
Okay, sounds good.
Set up. And then you just have your presentation in the background then too?
Yep.
Okay. All right, great. Give me 1 sec. Let me make sure the judges are finished up here. Okay.
I need another minute or so.
Okay, you're good. No worries. All right, we just cracked 100 people too. Sweet. Thank you guys all for joining. If you're just coming in as well, we're in the second pitch. Please feel free to introduce yourselves and let me know, if you guys need, help with anything, feel free to reach out to us. I have my email and stuff, and I just dropped like my LinkedIn and email and stuff on there if you guys want to reach out to us. We have a lot of stuff coming up, and we're going to be rolling out a bunch of features for the app and everything. So Scott, you good?
No, I'm not. When you cut in, it takes the judging page away, and I've lost the good judging page. So give me a minute. Let me find it, and I'll let you know.
What do you mean you lost? What do you mean you lost?
Yeah, when you cut into the next contestant, my judging page goes away. So it went somewhere on my screen, and I'm looking to find it. So give me a minute to try and find it.
Okay. It should just be, it's not on Zoom. It should be in your browser.
Actually, I had the same exact thing just happen to me right now. When I went in and out, I lost my actual window. So I had to open up a new window. I kind of.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it's a Zoom thing, but it just happened to me too.
Okay.
Looks like we found another Zoom bug potentially.
Yeah. It happened last time too, but somehow last time I figured it out. And this time I'm having a little more trouble.
So still in the growing pains phase of going virtual.
Yeah, I would just go back to the email that we sent and just click the link in that email.
All right.
Yeah, that's really strange.
Okay. I'm back, but just give me a minute so I can finish it up.
Righty. Oh, are you using the Zoom? Are you using the Zoom app or the web browser?
I'm using the browser.
Yeah, that might be why. But you back on? Okay, yeah, I see you editing it. Okay, cool. All right, I think.
Are we sharing those results from the poll you took earlier? Maybe you can give everybody a sense of.
Actually, a great idea. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like most people are looking to network with like-minded people, which is great. A lot of people looking for investors, and looks like a good amount of looking for getting customers and clients as well. Yeah, this fits really well with what we're building with the app and these events. We're trying to figure out better ways for entrepreneurs to network. Right now, it's just like weird time because everyone else, is used to meeting each other at events and whatnot. But we're trying to do our best with these virtual events and everything. So I think Scott, are you good?
Good.
Now? Okay. All right, we're ready to kick things off. I'll start the timer whenever you're ready.
All right, let me set mine up. Okay, let's go. So I'm going to show you guys a video first, an explainer video of what my product is.
If you run a small or medium-sized business, you probably dread bookkeeping and especially tax time. Keeping track of expenses is a huge hassle, and preparing your paperwork for your accountant can be stressful. SyncBooks changes all that. SyncBook's business accounting software uses artificial intelligence, or AI, to categorize your expenses in a way that the IRS quickly understands. First, it'll help you set up a general ledger for your business. Then it syncs with your bank account, and that's when you really notice the SyncBook's difference. Using the info in your banking transactions, it can determine what kind of expense each of your transactions is and record it in a way the IRS understands. This doesn't happen at first, but once the AI learns enough about your business, SyncBooks can score as high as 92% accuracy when assisting you in categorizing your expenses. Because of this, SyncBooks makes tax time much easier for you and your accountant. It generates a clean, clear profit and loss report that then syncs to a tax return preview instantly, so you can easily see what your tax return will look like, something no other software currently does. This saves your accountant a ton of time and expense, because they can simply use the SyncBooks generated profit and loss report and the tax return preview document to complete your IRS tax returns faster than ever before. With SyncBooks, all the headaches you used to experience categorizing your business expenses and filing your taxes simply disappear. It truly is the intelligent choice for small and medium-sized business owners, because it helps you constantly keep track of your income and expenses and makes it easier to report at tax time. So what are you waiting for? Let SyncBooks do the hard work of categorizing your expenses and syncing your P&L to your tax documents. Visit syncbooks.com to get started.
All right. So, great. So SyncBooks is my bookkeeping software. Just so you guys know a little bit about myself, I am a tax attorney, so I'm a litigator. So, oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, something. Sorry, guys. So I am a tax attorney and I litigate cases in front of the IRS. So basically what ends up happening is when people get audited, they hire me and I have to fix the issue, right? So this is something that I see constantly. So what ends up happening is that somebody gives me all their transactions and they don't make sense, right? So you have a number that's mismatched from the P&L to the actual tax returns because the fields don't match up. So what ends up happening is you have on the P&L, you have something that says 200,000 of cost of goods sold. On the tax return, it says 400,000 of tax of goods sold, of cost of goods sold. So what ends up happening is I got to figure out where that 200K discrepancy comes from. So I asked the client where'd that number come from, says, I don't know, ask the bookkeeper. Bookkeeper says, I don't know, ask the client. Now we have a controversy. So that's what I do for a living right now. So what I said is I'm going to fragment the ledger and make it a little bit easier for people or for the bookkeeping process to work. So these are all like, and I don't have that much time, but this is a P&L on the left side that you see here that doesn't match what's on the right side here. That's the normal P&L. So what we did is we just made it a lot easier by making the category selection that you have match what's going to be on your tax return at the end of the year. So as you're doing your P&L, you're actually slowly doing a version of your tax return. So as you're selecting your categories, they're only going to match what's on the tax return. So at the end of the year, when you're done with your bookkeeping, you're actually done with a version of your tax return. Again, that's something that no software does. And the reason they don't do that is because they use what's called GAAP accounting. GAAP accounting is only required between 5 million and 25 million, and only mandatory, and that's only in part, and only mandatory over 25 million and above. So if you have 5 million and under, you really don't need GAAP accounting. Pen and paper actually works for the IRS. So that's sort of what we did. We filed a patent on the process that we're using. We use AI, machine learning vector, to streamline the process. And when we've done the AI test, they can be as accurate as 92% when we train the model. So it actually really streamlines it pretty darn well. So the market is really huge. These are numbers from the from 2017 Intuit presentation, and Intuit has 80% of the market share of people actually using it, and that is only like 15% of the total market that's actually using bookkeeping at any online bookkeeping right now. So there's still a huge market available for other players in the field. We're currently at $3,500 of monthly recurring revenue. So we have clients, we actually are in business. We've been in business now for like about a year. It's been mainly self-funded. And I I think that's all my time. Is that all my time? Okay, great.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Cool.
I wanted to see if you were wrapping up, but no, that was fantastic.
No, I drank a lot of coffee today, so I'm good.
You're good. You're good. Okay, let's get in some judges Q&A. What questions do we have?
Sure. Are you selling directly to small businesses or to their bookkeepers?
No,
or both.
Both. We're doing both. So it can be a standalone product for an entrepreneur. The three target people that we're going after right now mainly are people that aren't using any bookkeeping, people that don't like their current system, and just startups, right? I don't want to compete with QuickBooks because I could spend $10 million making this product and people still won't switch to make it into QuickBooks. So I don't want to try to take those clients away. So it's mainly we're going after small businesses, and we just launched the bookkeeper portal. So we're going after both. So there's a bookkeeper portal. So if you want to put all your clients on there, you can actually put all your clients on there and do their bookkeeping.
Can you help me understand what the difference is between, this product offering and what QuickBooks offers for single member LLCs, self-employed people, and other small businesses? They have a lot of integrations between TurboTax and QuickBooks and IRS forms, and I don't see the differentiation.
So the difference is that when that self-employment one is probably the one that's most like our product here, the self-employed. But once you go into an 1120S, a 1065, an 1120, the other tax forms, C Corp, S Corp, and partnership Schedule E's, it instantly deviates off the bat. So what mine does is something very similar to that one in and of itself, but it does it for the other forms as well.
Mm-hmm. Hey, this is Megan. First of all, thank you for sharing. I think this is really great. I love the video up front because I think it made it really easy to digest the rest of the presentation you're about to tell us. I know this is a huge problem because I finance early stage startups, and when I look through their bank statements, no one has any idea what's going on in there. Yep. What are you thinking about for customer acquisition? How are you going to go about increasing that with a $500,000 investment?
One of the gentlemen, Scott Blum, he is one of the people that helped actually be one of the first marketers for when QuickBooks went online for the first time. So he's the one who's going to help us basically create our game plan as soon as we raise funds. Right now, he's been really kind with his time and, helping and all that, but it's not until we actually really get funded that we can bring him on like for a full time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your cost? What do you charge? How does this roll out like per unit?
So there is just for the standalone product, it's $15 a month or $120 for the whole year. And what I ended up learning is that some people don't care how easy it is, no matter what it is, they'd rather just have someone else do it. So we started creating a custom package where we do the bookkeeping for our clients. That seemed where we're charging $100, $200, $300, $400 a month. That seemed to be a lot more what people wanted as well. So we actually have a full-time bookkeeper on staff now as part of our employees. So that was our first hire like about a month ago, is that we have about like, I think 15 bookkeeping clients. And so she just manages those bookkeeping clients right now.
It would seem at that price point that, you might go direct to consumer rather than to accounting firms and bookkeepers.
Yeah, I'm making, see, the thing is, when I started creating this product, a lot of bookkeepers were like, oh my God, thank you. I hate QuickBooks. I hate QuickBooks. It was like common, like I hate those guys, hate into it. And so I was like, whoa, I didn't realize. I mean, people were just DMing me on Twitter like, dude, I'm so happy you're doing this. And so we started creating this for bookkeepers now, because there's a lot of bookkeepers, but I don't have all the features that they want. Like you can't send invoices from here yet. There's no payroll integration yet. So those bookkeepers are like, hey, get me those things and I'll switch. As soon as you get me those things, I'll switch over, I'll bring all my clients to you.
Hey, one more question from me.
Yep.
You probably know this best because you're a tax attorney, but I'd be a little concerned of the liability if the AI isn't perfect and it mismatches expenses. How do you plan to tackle that?
See that? I lost that page too. So you actually have to validate it yourself. So when the AI guesses, you actually have to come in and finally say, okay, this is right. So if the AI is guessing that Uber's a car expense here, then maybe it is and maybe it isn't, but you have to actually say yes it is or no it's not.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
What are your plans for management of the company? You're a full-time tax attorney now. Are you going to be a startup founder or hire someone else in lieu of that?
I'm proud. I actually am. I'm a professor at Pepperdine as well. I teach a tax clinic as well as an adjunct professor. So as soon as I get to a point where I love tax, so you guys know I'm like a tax nerd. I don't look like one, but I am known as that weird tax guy. Like amongst people that know me, they're like, Desai's that guy. So I love this. Actually, my wife will tell me like nobody cares, but I'm like, people care, trust me. So this is something that I love. But as soon as I get to a point where I can actually pay myself a salary from SyncBooks, I will stop my private practice and just do the adjunct professor because it serves actual social justice as well. So there's another aspect to what I do as a professor, but I would let go of my private practice. My private practice I can do in my sleep right now. So it actually, the functions, that's what allowed me to continue so long without raising any funds, is that my staff was also helping on here too. So it really because it's along the same lines, it actually, I was able to merge some of the work together.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think that's it. Thank you so much. That was awesome. We'll give it a few minutes here for the judges to tally their scores. Hopefully Scott's is working this time and we're all good. Next up is Mainsail. And we'll let Thomas come up. Okay, he's already ready to rock. I'm gonna relaunch the poll too, as well, guys. For those of you that came on late, if you guys wanna just vote on what you're looking for, and this is gonna help us add features to our platform and help us figure out what events to do next with you guys. So you can fill that out while the judges are finishing their tallies here. We'll be all good to go. I think looks like we're almost set here. Josh is done, Megan's done, Nisha's done, and Scott is just about done as well. Okay. Alrighty. Thomas, you all set? Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Talash. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Mainsail Retirement here in New York. So what do we do? We buy older adults' homes and we offer them a guaranteed monthly lifetime income as payment. But to take a step back, what is the problem that we're addressing here? The problem is that more than half of the senior population in the US do not have enough savings for retirement. So 30 to 40 million people will run out of their savings, which is just a terrible prospect. And we have a solution for that using their home equity. So what we offer them is we buy their homes, we pay part of the equity value upfront, and we also give them monthly guaranteed income from that point. We take over maintenance, we take over property tax and property insurance. The market that we are targeting here is certainly huge. Just the senior residential real estate market is a $4 to $5 trillion. But if we concentrate on urban, suburban homes and our specific target customers, people without children or people with financial need, that's still a $75 billion per year market. I'll explain the business logic in a second, but we are planning to charge a 3% fee. So we have the revenue potential of $3 billion annually. So what is happening in the background? How do we bring this desirable product to life? We have two partners, a home rental company and an insurance company. So what happens is we have a client with, let's say, a home worth $300,000. The client sells the home to our home rental partner who pays the spot home value. So let's say $300,000. We use part of that cash to give the equity extraction to the client. So let's say 10% of the home value, 30K upfront, and give that client a guaranteed monthly income of $1,000 until their lifetime. But we also use part of the home value extracted and put that into an annuity product of an insurance company. So with that proceeds of the annuity, we can pay the home rental company the monthly home rental fee of the client. So the client gets the lifetime rental in return at the end. And we charge about a 3% fee for this customer acquisition. And then we just set up this self-sustaining model. On the team, there's myself. I have a consulting background, was with McKinsey before, and I just graduated from Columbia MBA here in New York. But I also have this personal funding story that I've seen this product work in Europe. So I have firsthand experience how this works. And I have a co-founder who's a software engineer in San Francisco, who is an ideal co-founder for me because he used to work for Adapar, which is a FinTech company, and then Open Door, which is a prop tech real estate tech company. So he's in the intersection of both. Just highlighting the end goal here, what we're working towards is to be the financial backbone of retirement for the middle class. So that's our ultimate goal, to be as big with home equity extraction as 401k or Social Security is at the moment. You might ask if this is the right time to bring this product to market, and it absolutely is. There's never been a better time, because with coronavirus and a potential recession, a lot of savings are wiped out, lost stock and bond savings. Real estate prices will probably be falling in the next year or 2 years. And, that's exactly the right time when you want to start building a portfolio of homes. And there is a clear shift in preferences from senior, care homes to aging at place. And that's exactly what we offer our clients to do. So that was it from my side.
Okay. Finished early. Perfect. All right. We have extra 30 seconds or so for questions.
Use that for questions for sure. There'll be tons of questions, I'm sure.
I'll open it up to the investors.
Sure. It's funny. I'm actually looking at this space right now. A lot of interesting things going on here. From my perspective, there's only one thing that really matters here. It's customer acquisition. So how are you thinking about that?
Sure. So in the beginning, what we want to do is a lot of things that don't scale. Our first target market is Florida, Tampa, to be specific. So we just fly there and start talking to people at the grocery store or at a cafe. I've started that in New York and New Jersey before COVID. Now, obviously, that's not possible, but that's just how you get going. Later on, we deeply believe in direct-to-consumer and digital customer acquisition. 60% of these seniors are on Facebook. 10% of them are even on Instagram. So, we've tested Facebook ads and Google ads with just a couple $1,000, and we have pretty nice conversion rates to our site. We have an online site that gives you an offer if you type in your age and home value. So that's how we want to get going. Eventually, using agents or B2B2C like credit unions is also a potential go-to-market strategy.
Thanks.
It looks like you'll have some price risk because you'll be paying equity based on a spot value and then projecting a, exit value that's uncertain. So
Yeah.
How do you think about hedging the portfolio or otherwise mitigating that risk?
Sure. So actually, this is already a de-risked business model that we have here. The first time I pitched in this way, originally, we would have taken the homes to our own balance sheet and just get structured finance for it. That's not the case anymore. We actually sell the home to our home rental partner, let's say Invitation Homes or American Homes for Rent. So they buy, and they routinely buy these homes. So that's what they do. They just buy the home on the spot value. This way we get rid of the real estate price risk. And with the insurance partner and annuity, we also get rid of the actuarial risk. Does that make sense, or does it answer your question?
Yeah, thanks.
So what's stopping someone who buys his property from selling it from from out underneath the former owner, once the market starts to accelerate?
Sure. So the way we put the legal framework in place is that the clients have the lifetime right to renting that property. That's called an estate right. So that's just how we set up the legal framework to have a lifetime right to rent at a certain price, and we cover that price with the insurance company.
Hey,
And-
Thomas.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Congrats on your MBA. Mine kind of piggybacks on Scott's. My biggest fear between taking some reverse mortgages from Europe and moving them to the US is tenant rights in the US are pretty significant. And there could be some estate and title battles here.
Yeah.
Is that just all deferred to the home rental company?
Yeah, but also I would actually flip. I mean, you're absolutely right, but I would flip that and say that's an awesome thing. So the fact that tenant rights are strong, and that's awesome. And that's also why we want to start in Florida, where they're particularly strong for certain legal frameworks, because we want to make sure that our clients are never, foreclosed on, and that they have the right to stay in the home, because we want to bring like a very ethical product to the market, unlike reverse mortgages. So the fact that in Florida, we can set up a legal structure where clients can stay in the home, like no matter what, that's exactly what we want to make sure that, this really serves their best interest, and, they never get foreclosed on or get thrown out. What do you think?
I think that's a great answer.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions real quick before we?
Yeah, just a
wrap up?
couple.
Yeah.
So am I understanding that the 3% that you talked about, is that going to come from the annual rent is that how you'll be making a profit?
We just take that off first thing from the total sale price. So the total sale price is $300,000. We just take 3% of that, so $9,000 or $10,000, and we take that to cover our customer acquisition cost and to make a margin. We charge this flat fee. Going forward, we can surely take an upside with a slightly different model. We can take an upside of either of the home appreciation, or if eventually we can get lower cost of financing, we can make a bigger spread. But to get going, we'll just charge the home rental company this 3% customer acquisition fee.
Thank you.
I have a last question. I would love to hear from Tomas in your own words, what you think are the two biggest risks to executing and getting to your next milestones for your business.
Sure. So what we are doing now is assembling a wait list of customers and getting home rental partners to help us. And there are some risks on both sides. So while we have some nice traction with clients, it's not easy to go digital first now. And it's actually in this environment, it's hard to get clients just digitally due to COVID. The second, on the home rental company front, we have some meaningful conversations going on, but sometimes it's hard also to align interests. And we are a small startup, whereas home rental companies many of them are listed companies with tens of thousands of homes. So there's a bit of bargaining power difference there.
Appreciate the honest answer.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. That was great. What we're going to do right now is, if the judges can tally up their scores for main sale. I got to edit this. We're going to do, I want to see what the audience thinks as well for these first three companies. And I'm gonna roll out a poll here, and we'll see what judges decide versus the audience. It was funny, our last pitch competition, they both picked the same company. So we'll see if that happens again. And I'm gonna launch this now. So let us know if you click the poll at the bottom there, which pre-seed pitch you like the best. And we'll roll these results out as soon as the judges are finished tallying. And we're just going to do third, second, first for the first portion. And James, do you want to read off the prizes and everything for these companies as well?
Sure. I'll do that once we go to the winners. I'll do it now. So for everybody who participated tonight, you all walk away with some prizes. But for the winner, in both the pre-seed and the seed category, you'll get admission to HubSpot for Startups, which is a great suite of CRM, sales and marketing SaaS products. You'll get a 1-hour consultation with a senior UX designer at Slide UX, which is a leading design firm. You'll get 6 months of free MailJet email marketing services. And you'll also get 750 credits to Seed Lawyers, which is on-demand legal services. And now for the participants, you'll get 3 months of premium MailJet email marketing services, a 1-hour slide consultation with Slide UX, and 250 credits to Seed Lawyers for on-demand legal services. So everyone walks away with a little bit of something. And I believe Mike is also going to throw in Entre Pro. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So what we're going to do for all the finalists is what we want to do is give everyone free Entre Pro membership for a year. So you can come to any of our in-person, if we get back to them, and all these virtual events you'll have free admission to. Plus you'll get access to all of our deals and discounts with our partners like Brex, Gust, Monday.com, Dropbox, G Suite, a bunch of other cool services and software for you guys. And then what we're going to do too is we're planning kind of a year-end pitch competition, because we've done a few. And what we want to do is get all the winners into that pitch competition as well. So I'll keep you guys posted on that and the details. But definitely everyone's going to get Entre Pro, all the startups who pitched tonight. And the 2 winners are obviously going to get a few more perks as well. So I think we're all tallied here. Judges, we're all good with the final scores. Let me make sure that all of these are tallied up correctly.
Hey, Michael, the names at the top don't match the individual spreadsheets, but I think they're in order of 1, 2, 3.
The names at the top don't match the
Like the first one goes to deliver, but it should be fly.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. You're saying on the final. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So this is Flyon. This is SyncBooks. Yeah, I got you. There we go. Right? Okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Yeah. So we're all good here. So we'll do third place first. Flyon is our third place winner. SyncBooks is second, and Main Sale is our first place winner. So congratulations to everybody.
Great job, everybody.
I'm going to share the results too. So the audience liked SyncBooks pitch the best, Main Sale second, and Flyon third. So thank you guys so much. If the startups want to share their websites, emails for other people to contact them, thank you guys so much for pitching. Definitely stick around to hear the other pitches and stuff too, and for networking later if you guys have time. And that does it for the pre-seed part. James, is there anything else that you want to mention here before we jump into the seed session?
Nope, let's dive into it. I think great job, everybody, on your presentations. Great job, judges, with your questions. And I'm excited for the next segment. Kick it off, Mike.
All right, fantastic. First up, let me make sure I got this right. We have Numio.
All right, I will jump into the hot seat.
You all set, Mark?
We will find out.
All right, fantastic. Let me get the stopwatch all set here. And I'm ready whenever you are.
All righty. Well, thank you guys for joining. My name is Mark Anstead. I'm one of the co-founders of Numio, and here to talk to you about how we are giving you back control over your identity and your money. So a little bit about us. We are building out the application layer on top of blockchain, initially Ethereum. And we are building these solutions to help service this awesome, incredible growing world known as DeFi, otherwise known as decentralized finance. And these products that we are developing not only work hand in hand with different types of open source protocols, but also some awesome IP that we have developed. And these products that we are building out are focused on three main things: payments, asset management, and digital identity management. And for those of you who aren't really familiar, this is a little bit of an educational period. Decentralized finance, or DeFi, is essentially the goal of creating a financial ecosystem that minimizes the amount of centralized parties that need to, the amount of trust that you need to rely on centralized parties. Sorry, jumping around with my words there. And there are a few things that we're actually doing to help strengthen or even bolster this growing economy. And those are around scalability, onboarding, volatility, security, and education. When it comes to scalability, we've been working with the OMG network team, enabling for about 3,000 transactions per second. When it comes to onboarding, we enable for users to be onboarded behind the scenes and have their own unique digital identity. When it comes to volatility, our focus isn't necessarily on Bitcoin or Ethereum, but more so how you can utilize different types of stable coins for payments and interacting with different types of protocols. And when it comes to security, we've built some awesome IP around our Numio cloud, which allows you to not only protect, but even recover different types of accounts and data. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that later. And when it comes to education, I mean, we're building out products that are focused on simplicity and usability, and without having to give up any type of security. Because we know that most people, frankly, they don't really care to really understand or figure out how blockchain actually works. And now for the fun stuff, the products. This is a product that we first released last year as a beta, and it is called Numio Pay. And believe it or not, this was the first product operating on Ethereum, enabling for gasless transactions between identities. And what that means is a gasless transaction allows you to interact with the Ethereum network in a non-custodial manner, so you don't actually have to hold Ether in your wallet, which is awesome. So you can think of this product as a peer-to-peer and point-of-sale transaction solution. It also enables for instant transactions as a part of our implementation with the OMG network, as well as different types of remittances between different types of corridors. And as I mentioned, every single user that is onboarded is able to receive their own unique digital identity, or their DeFi ID. And as a part of that comes identity management. And this is where our Numio cloud comes into place. So our Numio cloud enables you to take any type of file, data, or information.
Unmute.
Oops, sorry, I got muted there. And this allows you to take any type of information effectively and store it into a zero-knowledge proof. So this protects you from other users or organizations from accessing your private information. It is all permission-based, so you have full control and custody over that information. So this enables for essentially a universal KYC solution. So you can be onboarded into different types of financial institutions or platforms instantly. Oops. And now moving on to Numio Vault. This is our web-based product that we have been developing, and we are currently in QA on right now. It's actually the first wallet being built out, enabling for blockchain-based 2FA security. We also enable for keyless security. So when you are being onboarded, for those of you who have generated a crypto wallet, you don't actually need to write down your private key or even seed words, because all of those private keys are able to be stored in the Numio cloud, which then allow you to recover that information in a secure manner. We also enable for lending and borrowing, so you can actually gain interest upwards of 5 or even 10% APR, as well as fiat on and off ramps, or even swapping between assets through DEX. We've also built out some awesome security features around our Vault Pro, like multi-sig solutions, dead man switch, rate limiters, whitelisting of addresses. List goes on. This is some of our core team. We have Marco, myself, Jason, and Tim, and the rest of our Rockstar team. This is some of the parts of our seed round that we are looking to do right now. And that is...
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, had to stop you there a little after 5 minutes, but great presentation. We'll open it up to the investors for some Q&A now.
Fire away.
Hey, Mark, this is Megan. I will not pretend to be an expert in this space at all, but I know my little brother talks a lot about how cold storage is his preferred way of storing. How do you talk to those people that are diehard Ledger fans?
I will say many maximalists are very weird about having hardware wallets. I don't know why. Many of those are just, I guess, the people who got around into the industry back in 2010, 2011, and that era. But for the most part, many of these individuals that are looking to store a lot of these assets, all they really care about is being able to access your private keys. So for those of you who don't know, a private key is what allows you to gain access to any type of public wallet on any type of blockchain. And obviously, when we are storing these assets, we are encrypting them locally. So users don't actually have to write them down. We are giving them the ability to access them. But one of the big features that we've built in that actually a lot of users that have been using Ledger or even Trezor, which are some very well-known hardware wallets that have faced difficulty with, is actually losing their hardware wallet. Believe it or not, that happens very frequently. And one of the smart contracts that we've developed in-house is called Dead Man Switch. And what that does is for those users who actually lose their wallet, or obviously it's called Dead Man Switch, if you pass away, your funds are not actually lost. So the way the smart contract works is it communicates with the API, and the API is able to read different types of on-chain interactions with a public address. So once you have set a certain amount of inactivity for your wallet, let's say 1 year, after a year of inactivity, your wallet becomes effectively nuked. And all of those assets are able to be sent to a specific address of your choosing. And in the future, we're going to be building it out so you can actually send that directly to a bank account, because we do realize that there are certain people out there that frankly don't understand or obviously care to use crypto or blockchain. So that allows for people to have more security and control over their assets when many people might not be able to access them. Because I know for myself, who holds crypto, I have private keys stored away currently, and I don't know if I can actually trust that my parents will be able to figure out how to get to that. And we want to be able to have these people actually realize that their loved ones are not going to lose those assets if they're lost. Does that sort of make sense?
Absolutely. That's a great answer.
Mark, love the presentation, but I'm wondering what's the income model for your company? How do you guys make money on this? And
Sure. So we originally built this product out to essentially be direct to consumers, where you're able to gain revenue from different types of fiat ramps. So when people are going in and out of fiat to and from crypto, or swapping between different types of assets, as well as the monthly recurring feature through our Vault Pro. But one of the things that we have found a lot over the last few months is how we'll be able to use different types of licensing models, because We've gotten a fair amount of organic inbound sales and interest from organizations actually wanting to license everything that we're building, whether it's certain aspects at the tech stack or just the entire product. So for example, some of the software that we've developed, like the Numio Cloud, is going to be able to be a platform for development, for building out different types of FinTech or even NedTech products. So the way that we're using that right now is essentially for KYC. And we've been getting a lot of medtech companies reaching out to us saying, we want to build out our products, our mobile app and web app using this type of solution because we're able to store different types of medical history, medical information using this software, allowing for end users to have more control over that data, because then they can control it and transfer it through an API by decrypting it and sending it to third-party doctors or hospitals, different things like that. Does that make sense?
So what's your AUM currently on the platform versus, say, your 1-year MRR from these licensing agreements? Because I agree with sort of Scott that the individual aspects of your company here have more utility for other verticals. And just curious about the AUM versus that case.
Sure. So I actually don't know offhand because our web app is actually not launched just yet. We have a beta out of our mobile app right now. I don't know offhand what the AUM is on that. I can obviously go and find that out. And then right now we are currently getting about $10,000 in revenue each month.
Is there a fee to use the Numio Vault?
No.
Really? Could that be used for like institutional custody?
Yes. So that's actually one of the reasons why we built out our Vault Pro. So that is where the multi-sig comes into play. So for those of you who are watching, don't know what a multi-sig is, it is called it's a term for a multi-signature wallet. So let's say, for example, myself and the rest of the judges wanted to create a wallet that we all had control over. We would all basically generate this vault and have each one of us sign off to be co-signers on this vault. And in order to do so, all of us would basically sign off on it and confirm by doing so. And from there, every single time you need to make a withdrawal or make a transaction, every single person who is accounted for on that wallet or that vault needs to verify a transaction before it actually is able to go through. So that's very useful for different types of family offices, businesses, organizations, and for some of our pilots that we are currently working on, primarily for merchants, where they're able to hold those funds and make sure let's say a rogue employee doesn't try to steal all of that money.
Gotcha.
All right, we do got to move on, but Mark, that was awesome. That was a great presentation, and thank you to the judges for their questions. We got to move on to some of the other people, and we'll give it a couple minutes here for the judges to tally up their scores. And then we'll have ProtoSure come up and present. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you guys for having me. Hope you guys learned something new too.
You got it. I'm sure a lot of people did. I mean, I'm definitely not an expert in the crypto space either, so this is super interesting. All right. ProtoSure.
All right.
There you go. Okay. All right, you up?
Yep. All right, we're ready.
Oh, okay. There we go. I was having trouble seeing it. There we go. We're good. We're all set.
Good.
Wait, give me 1 second here.
Okay, no problem. And okay.
Okay.
Righty. I'll start whenever you're whenever you begin.
All right. You can see the screen and everything?
Yep.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. I'm CEO of ProtoSure. My name is Uria, and I'm going to talk to you about enterprise no-code software. We've developed a new type of platform that allows insurance companies to launch products without any programming.
Sorry, we had somebody else that wasn't muted. You're good. You're good. You can start over
Sorry.
if you want.
Yeah, so we help insurance companies and soon other types of financial services companies launch products without any programming required whatsoever. So in our mind, this is like how Shopify revolutionized e-commerce. We could bring to the financial services and insurance industries. So as you could see, many companies want to do more agile, more modern ways of creating and distributing products, but whatever their desires are, they can't accomplish it. From the business side, I speak to constantly financial services insurance companies. They want to create new products. They want to distribute them more easily. They want to experiment with new ideas, but IT is what's holding them back. Even though it's not a major cost center for the companies, it's what actually prevents them from strategically changing how they operate. So what we've done is we created a new platform that's simpler. Instead of having teams of developers work on insurance product and financial services product development, all you have to do is use our no-code tools, which has everything built into it that you would need to launch insurance and financial services products. It's 10 times faster and 10 times cheaper. You could actually have the stakeholders in the company who are not programmers, but who are actually the subject matter experts, work on the products directly with just regular Excel knowledge, and they could build out their products and then embed them in whatever way they want to distribute it. Now, part of building out a new type of product is figuring out how are you going to distribute it. So it doesn't matter how well you build out a new idea or how sophisticated it is, if you can't get it in the hands of the customers or whatever your preferred channel is. So what we've done is that once you build out your product on our no-code platform, you can then embed it and distribute it with any kind of affiliate partner you want. So it's not about just putting something on a website or marketing really strongly, and so you could shuffle people down a funnel. It's about figuring out, once I build out something, how do I distribute it, what the right partners are, how do I integrate those without any coding, and being able to piggyback on the affinity partnerships that many insurance and financial service institutions already have. Right now, our focus is on the insurance industry. We plan on changing that sometime next year and focus more largely on the financial services and other enterprise areas. Within insurance, our focus tends to be on insurance companies that have dozens of insurance products, and only the large products get the IT support, and the smaller product lines tend not to be, the smaller and startup product lines tend not to be supported by IT at all. So you'd be surprised how much of the insurance industry still runs on spreadsheets, still runs on manual processing. So we're trying to scoop those up, those long tail of products within the insurance industry, and package it into one system that they could control themselves. Similarly, many types of specialty insurance products, which are basically insurance products that you've never seen advertised, tend to be very manually oriented. If you want to get your yacht insured, there's probably somebody sitting there in a spreadsheet at a workstation filling out a bunch of forms. So we could take all of that drudgery and all that manual work and reuse the existing spreadsheets and workflows they already have and directly import it into our system and allow them to maintain it without any programming required. We're also working with startups. Startups have a significant problem that their ideas are constantly changing, and they can't fix their ideas into one way without a large amount of money to support their IT side of it. So we could help startups come to market much more easily, so they could really flexibly work on the different product designs that they have, decide it's time to iterate, it's time to change how our market proposition, maybe we should start marketing in one state versus another, which is not something you could typically do with regular insurance or financial services platforms. A little bit about our pricing model. So we provide, it's a fully maintained system. You don't have to do any kind of configuration or setup on your own platform. We provide it as a SaaS solution. We start off at $25,000 annually for a single financial services or insurance product. And then we go larger. What we ideally like to do is sell to unlimited licenses to business units or company units, so that they could not feel restrained and create and ideate new ideas whenever they feel like it, instead of doing it the opposite way, which is what's customary now, which is they come up with the business plan and then they have to find the financial resources to support it. Now they could work on the ideas, and this is what our name comes from, prototype them internally, and then when it's ready, then they can launch them. A little bit about an estimate about the market size. Right now, the P&C industry is over $2 trillion. Our estimates are, and we've got some reports about this, is that about 20% of that is still handled manually, and 20% of that is specialty product lines. And while there's some overlap, that's still several $billion of insurance processed every year without any kind of real infrastructure. And that's because the products are too small or too complex for them to spend the millions of dollars to have a team of programmers build it onto a regular platform. We're also working on some live products, and we're also working on making
Thank you. We're over 5 minutes, so sorry.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry about that. Yeah, we can get into.
I was waiting for your call.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we have to keep it at 5 minutes.
No problem.
To keep it fair. Judges, you want to jump into some questions?
Great presentation and product. I'm wondering how many products you offer out of the box and how many have to be developed internally by the employees that you engage with.
So right now, our focus is on products that are not templated. So in the insurance industry, the common insurance products you have all have templates that the major vendors supply. And that's what makes it reasonably easy to get out to market, because you could get an ISO auto template or whatnot. What we really specialize in is where they don't have templates, where they have to create it from scratch. And what we could do there is we could take their existing spreadsheets, which they're using internally, and directly import it within our system, so they could start off with something that already they know works. So they could take all the work they've already implemented for their internal processes and immediately have something that they could use right out of the box.
Any other questions?
Yeah, does the 25K, does that include hosting on the financial services or insurance company's private cloud, or is that for a solution still on your cloud?
So we have kind of two product models. One is it's a multi-tenant system and they get a single tenancy on our cloud. So that way we could cost effectively support them. If they want a dedicated system, which they have the security permissions and responsibility for, we could set them up on their accounts, but then they have to get their enterprise product line, which is more, instead of being based on pricing based on a per product basis, it's based on a company license. So if they get the company license, which starts off significantly higher than $25,000 a year, then they could host it on their systems. We could set it up for them, or they could set it up, and then they have the security and permissions that they would prefer.
Good question to back up. Is the crux of the product to just introduce these lines, through websites, apps, and different digital channels? It's just getting it into the channel and things around like digital onboarding and, straight fulfillment and all that stuff?
It's pretty 50-50. The first 50% is, how do I take a very manual, error-prone process that relies typically on spreadsheets and automate it so that people, let's just say internally, can properly manage it. And that's usually $1 million plus project within insurance or financial services companies. The other part is, once I've done that, do I still want to be restrained by the fact that, you have to be logged into our internal network and it's only available through the intranet? Once you build it, you could leave it just internally, or you could literally take a snippet of code and embed it with partner sites and work through affiliates to distribute your product. Whether you want to just put it on one website or 100 websites, you could really change how you think about delivering these products out to the mass industry. There are companies that specialize just in low-code or no-code systems, and companies that just specialize in, delivering front ends of products to different places. But you hit the wall when you try to combine them. So we've combined them together.
Gotcha.
What's your cost of product versus your profit margin?
Yeah. So really the marginal cost for our product is about zero. It's a software as a service model. So we could spin up 1 million systems if we want, and the hosting is not really material cost for us. Where the costs really are the R&D for building out a more developed system, and for obviously marketing, support, overhead. So we typically do a small amount of support for free, and then above that, we charge per project or hourly to defray the costs for directly helping them configure and set up systems.
And how does customer acquisition go for you? I mean,
It's gone pretty well. So I might have skipped it a little bit. So we have 3 significant insurance companies on the platform right now. We're also marketing in Japan because turns out Japan is extremely paper heavy, and because of COVID-19, all their face-to-face interactions, which they prefer to fill out these forms, are no longer possible. So they're kind of scrambling right now, figuring out how they could digitize a lot of these kind of complex financial services workflows. We also have a bunch of startups, but yeah, so customer acquisition now is mostly word of mouth, talking to people I know from the industry based on my experience, going to conferences. We're looking to ramp up that in a fuller model sometime next year. And that's we're also in the midst of fundraising, and most of that is for our sales and marketing efforts.
What are you trying to raise on what terms broadly?
We're looking to raise around 2 to 3 million at about a $8 million pre-money valuation.
All right. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Give it up for Proto Show, everyone, in the chat there. That was a great presentation. And last but not least, we have Neil and Deliver. So that was great. We'll bring Neil up to wrap things up as the judges tally their scores. And then right after we announce the winners for the seed round, we are going to jump into some breakout rooms so you guys can network with some of the other attendees. And yeah, I think Neil is still on. I see him here. So Neil, you want to come on up and share your screen?
You guys ready? Okay.
No.
We'll hold. Don't start presenting just yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Just you can share your screen and make sure.
I'm gonna lose my screen if you do that, but go ahead. I'll find it again.
You guys see it okay?
Yep.
Okay, just tell me when you're ready, please.
Almost there. Hey, Scott, too, make sure put the exit opportunity in for Numio as well. Looks like you missed it on the scoring sheet there.
Done that a couple times. For some reason, it keeps disappearing. So, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty. Neil, whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Hi, my name is Neil Kleinberg. I'm the founder and CEO of Deliver. Before we get into the common pitch deck slides, I thought I'd throw out an analogy to set the context. We're often called Carfax for M&A. When buying a company, instead of looking at a Carfax vehicle history report, we suggest you look at a Deliver Enterprise Performance and Growth Scorecard, and that'll tell you everything you ever wanted to know about the company's business, including the hard-to-find operational stuff, namely under-the-hood stuff, to reduce the risk of buying the company. Our elevator pitch is we're in the FinTech M&A or capital markets software space for our due diligence solutions. Our claim to fame is an enterprise-wide metrics-based scorecard tool that helps improve the quality and reduce the risk of M&A transactions, both on the buy side and on the sell side. Our mantra is science for the art of M&A. We're not trying to get rid of, nor do we think we could get rid of, even if we wanted to, all the artwork in the secret M&A community. We're just trying to add as much data analytics to it as possible for purposes of due diligence to bring it into the 21st century. We're in a large and growing addressable market, almost 7 billion by PitchBook and almost 14% CAGR. We swim in a pool with a variety of other M&A software packages. Some of the popular ones are VDRs and workflow and deal sourcing. And we're trying to have a new category of software called scored due diligence, blessed by Gartner, who we're in discussions with. We sell to 3 different revenue streams. The first 2 on the buy side, 1 on the sell side. On the buy side, we sell to strategic acquirers, typically through their corporate development or post-merger integration groups, and on the financial acquirers, typically through their general partners. And on the sell side, no matter what growth stage you are, you can use our software to impress a potential acquirer down the road as part of their exit strategy using a metrics-based business excellence framework. We don't have any direct competitors in terms of packaged software, but we indirectly compete against all of these for the budget for the M&A software. A lot of well-known problems in the M&A ecosystem. The big problem we're helping to solve is bad outcomes or deals gone bad. But I always like to say we have a really nice side benefit is we reduce a lot of the blood, pain, and suffering normally associated with the due diligence process. So what we need is a strategic outcome-focused M&A deal paradigm, not the transaction one that exists today. Here's a snapshot of our tier 1 aggregated view of our scorecard, which is a SaaS AWS servers. We measure 2 things that are most interest to investors, enterprise performance to date and growth potential in the future. Those are the 2 color-coded columns. And we use 14 categories to do the measurement, and they're held constant so you can compare deals across different markets. And if you click on any of the 14 categories on the left-hand side, that'll take you to the tier 2 scorecards where all the due diligence questions are asked, all the answers and all the analytics are generated, and then it all aggregates up until here. And in the middle column, we have the, what's called the valuation adjustment range. And this is lets you see live how as you improve on your scorecard, your valuation will go up if you do well and go down if you do bad. Had a team together since day one. They've all got startup technology and business experience. This is not my first rodeo either. It's my 4th company. I had a successful exit with another FinTech software company in the wealth management space at the end of 2007. And we have a very active and credentialed advisory board too. In terms of traction, we have 40 clients to date and 20 partners, many of them with global reach. We've been in the news a lot lately since last summer when we released our SaaS product, including the Moxie Award, which was for the disruptor in the M&A community, and we competed in the entire software product category. In terms of competition, the companies I mentioned before are all indirect competitors, but we have blue ocean space in the sense of no one's got a packaged product, and given our intellectual property, we believe we'll stay there for at least a couple of years to win the race. In terms of intellectual property, we, us due diligence guys, we like to say that there's 3 buckets of due diligence. The financial due diligence is handled quite nicely by the bankers and the CPA and the law firms. The legal due diligence quite nicely by the law firms and the general counsels. But the operational due diligence bucket, which is our sweet spot, is the area where most deals, and the reasons why most deals fail. And we have a provisional patent for the entire platform that's pending. In terms of the revenue model, average sales price over $73K per year per customer, but it's highly skewed towards the buy side who have the money as opposed to the sell side who are usually early stage. 80% of the revenues for SaaS subscriptions, a little bit for onboarding, and recurring revenue for reviewing the metrics on a quarterly basis. In terms of the financials, we're raising our 2nd seed round now, $1 million at an $8 million valuation cap, and so we can launch aggressive marketing initiatives and very high ROI, 62%. We've got a variety of exit options. My favorite one is a private equity firm or a big VC who wants to put an integrated suite under 110. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions.
Perfect timing, Neil. Perfect timing.
Practice makes perfect. Right?
Great presentation. That was fantastic. Very cool. Very cool company. Judges, I'll open up the floor and let's get Neil some questions.
Yeah, on extracting the the information to go through the operational due diligence process, is that entered by the investment professional and it gets bumped up against a series of like benchmarks that are proprietary to you, or maybe walk us through how that works real quick?
Yeah, combination of both. We provide a pre-populated list of due diligence questions that are based on 2 factors. The first is the growth stage, and we define 4 of them: startup, emerging, established, and market leading. So the size of the company dictates the number of questions that we provide at the beginning. So typically a startup has 100, about 200 for established, 300 and up as you get bigger. And then we allow the client to custom tailor those pre-populated list of questions. They can delete any ones that's not applicable, anyone that's not asked based on our benchmarks, they can introduce. So when we're done, before we actually release the questions to the candidate seller, it's 100% custom tailored to the buyer's desires on what they want to ask based on their deal thesis.
Gotcha.
Hey, Neil, this is Megan.
Hello.
This is really interesting. We built a business due diligence scorecard model similarly, but it took, 7 years of data. Where are you getting your data from, and how are you going to keep it up to date?
So we have a long-term big data play, and the reason we can do that is because we keep at a minimum the 100, 200, or 300 answers to the questions for each company's growth stage and vertical market, namely industry, sub-industry, domain, in our database. So even if they are not investment worthy, when they do the self-assessment, we're going to still track all that data. So over time, a lot of an angel group might have 100 applicants per month, and they might only have 3 of them that are investor worthy, but we're still collecting the data on the 100, right? So it's going to grow really big, really fast, and ultimately we'll call ourselves a big data play, but we're preparing for it now.
Amazing. One follow-up to that. Do you have customers, you mentioned, average contract value. Do you have early adopters, or are you still?
Yeah. We have 40 customers to date. 2/3 are on the sell side, but when we released the buy side version in SaaS format last summer, that's when now we'll be able to go after the big buy side clients. So we got our first big buy side client, a 10,000 a month SaaS subscription user, who we're onboarding now. Deliver onboarded itself too. We eat our own dog food. We were the guinea pig, and we're in negotiations with 4 different buy-side financial firms, an angel group, a VC, a private equity firm, and a family office right now. But we had to wait for the SaaS version to do that, but it's coming right now.
Neil, can you clarify if there's an intent to resell access to the database of company data that you collect through some of your clients?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting question. So I know I zipped through the exit strategy options real quick, but the 5th one was that scenario, namely spinning off the data, which we believe will be extremely valuable, because nobody, PitchBook, Capital IQ, FactSet, whoever you want to look at, collects outcome data, right? So that's our special sauce in terms of data analytics. Well, everybody does deal flow, but nobody collects that. So we believe that will be unbelievably valuable and worthy of a spinoff itself, even though we certainly, as it's growing, want to hang on to it to differentiate ourselves in the short term. But as we get bigger, I think that'll be a viable exit option as well.
Well, that leads me to the reason I asked that is because, especially for companies sub $15 million in valuation, their self-reported, balance sheet, there's very little data integrity to that. And so how does that then provide utility to reusers of that data?
So if you just look at, I'll just use ourselves as an example. So we put ourselves in PitchBook, when we did, the market analysis, and I looked at every sell side from Angel, Gust, you name it, platform out there, and the data it's all collected, number one, in a different way. So you can't compare deals. Number two, it has no outcome statistics. And number three, they don't do a deep enough dive and convert to analytics. So you can read in text and prose all you want about any particular company that posts any particular document on their platform, but nobody does any analytics on it. So if I'm an investor, I want to see analytics and a scorecard before I want to read 100 or 1,000 pages. So since we keep those 14 categories of the scorecard constant, we're the only ones, to our knowledge, that allows you to compare deals. So that's the huge analytical advantage. Even before we get big data, we have great data. So I hope that answers your question. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions before we finalize and tally the final scores?
Yeah, I have a quick question. Neil, you mentioned, you mentioned your exit strategy. How does it change your operating strategy, if you say, hold this company for 10 years rather than, if you're if your real desire is to get this thing up and running and spin it off in, say, 3 to 4?
So we have a two-part strategy. The first part is Deliver being acknowledged as the gold standard or the good housekeeping seal of approval for the new category called scored due diligence. The second part is us being the special sauce in an integrated suite, which involves the other M&A software packages, most notably one virtual data room, one workflow process automation, and one deal sourcing, and a few other fragmented pieces together under a suite which does not exist today. Think of NetSuite for M&A. So that's the second part. Now the actual time frame is we've got ROI scenarios for an early exit in 3 years, a mid exit at 4 years, and if we wait the full 5 years. But in my personal opinion, and of course I'm biased, I think we're going to get acquired at early year 3. And then whoever acquires us, that'll dictate the scenario. And if it happens to be the financial acquirer, big VC or private equity firm that wants to do the suite, then we can start building the suite in year 4 and 5. So depending on who the acquirer is, and if they share the same long-term vision as us, then that'll sort of dictate us on the step 2 path. And I'm guessing that'll be in year 3. Did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
All right. I think that wraps it up. Judges, let's tally up the scores here. We're going to launch another poll for the audience to vote on who they thought was the best pitch. And we'll tally things up here. For anyone who came in late or to repeat too, James, you want to go through the prizes one more time while we tally everything up here?
Yeah, absolutely. And great job again to all of the seed companies. Thank you, judges, for some really great questions and insights. I think this is a very educational event, hopefully for everybody on the line. So for those who just joined, the winner of tonight is going to get admission to HubSpot for Startups, 6 months of free premium MailJet email marketing services, a 1-hour consultation with a senior developer at Slide UX, which is a leading UX design firm, and 750 credits to Seed Lawyers for on-demand legal services. And for the participants, everybody walks away with 3 months of premium email marketing from MailJet, a 1-hour consultation with a developer at Slide UX, and 250 credits to Seed Lawyers for on-demand legal services, as well as 1 year to Entre Pro.
Fantastic. I'm also going to drop a link in here for Entre Pro as well. If anybody is interested in signing up for that, we are kind of rolling this out right now, and we're going to be announcing a lot of cool partnerships in the next few weeks that we're really excited about. I'm also going to drop in. I dropped in the link for the app as well. If you guys want to check it out, it's also on our website. Just joinentre.com. We are going to have the replay of tonight. So if anyone wants to rewatch it or check out any of the pitches again, up on YouTube tomorrow. I dropped in our YouTube channel there. If you guys have any questions, or you think that we can be helpful in any way, or you guys want to partner with us on any of the events, I'm dropping my email in here too. You can also follow me on social media at Michael W. Mara on everything. And then Entre handle is just at Join Entre. And that's our website and everything too. And I think that's pretty much it. It looks like, oh, wow, we have a tight one here, folks. All right, let me double check. Judges, you want to double check all your scores? It looks like everyone is final. All right, wow. Okay, this is cool. We actually had a super close race for the poll as well. So the audience, by a sliver, liked Deliver the most, then Numio, and then ProtoSure. Okay, and for the judges, for third place, we have Numio. For second place and first place between ProtoSure and Deliver, it was decided by one point. So it was a super close race. Second place is Deliver and first place is ProtoSure. So thank you guys so much. Congratulations to all the startups. And thank you so much to all the judges. This was awesome. I hope everyone enjoyed this. We are going to jump into some networking. So if people want to meet some of the other attendees and stick around, we are going to jump into some breakout rooms. I'm going to leave some final thoughts here. James, if you want to say any parting words, and then we'll open up to the judges to say any final thoughts as well.
Yeah, just thank you, Mike, for collaborating, and thank you to all of the judges, Scott, Nisha, Megan, and Josh, who all asked fantastic questions. Thank you to the participants. You all did an outstanding job presenting tonight. And thank you so much to everybody who attended. We really appreciate you guys turning out to these events, and we'll keep delivering more to you. I dropped my contact info in the chat. I'm going to drop it in again since it's probably buried at this point. But we're going to be doing lots more pitch competitions and other events virtually until further notice. So thanks for coming out, guys.
Awesome. And real quick too, I wanted to, I actually forgot to mention this. We're going to be doing a Black-led startups pitch competition in July. I'm dropping the link in here now if people want to apply. We have great judges as well. This one's going to be a cash prize for the startup founders. So we're going to give at least $1,000 to the winner, cash, and then other prizes as well. I totally forgot about that, but I wanted to throw that out there here at the end. If people want to apply for that, we are only going to accept companies that do have Black founders, just to support everything that's going on in America right now. And to wrap things up here too, before we get into networking, any of the judges want to share where to find them, where to follow them, anything that they're looking for, other companies that they're looking to invest in, or any final thoughts before we jump into networking?
Thanks for having us. I dropped my info in the chat. I'll do it again.
Okay. Thank you, Megan. Josh, Nisha, Scott, any final thoughts or?
Yeah, this was really incredibly informative. Have to admit there are a lot of these spaces that I really knew very little about. So it was really a great chance and some great presentations. I will drop my information in the chat as well. I do early stage investing. Always really anxious to talk, happy and anxious to talk to new founders and people starting up businesses.
Thank you, Scott.
Yep. Great evening, everyone. Presentations and business models. And I was really impressed by how much early stage does with so little capital. Again, it's my forever bull case for that reason. You can best find me, LinkedIn, Twitter. And if you want to pitch or talk to me about your startup, my website has a information form that'll come to me in the team.
Awesome. Thank you, Nisha.
Cool. Yeah, echo everyone. Really fun time. I dropped my email in the chat. Feel free to reach out for whatever reason. Love seeing the lots of different interesting areas represented, and I gotta say, like, a lot of the areas you folks are working in are kind of sort of like new hot areas. So glad to see people working on some of the new things, and not sort of rehashing old ideas, although that can be fun too. But love to see you folks on the cutting edge. So thanks for your time.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Josh. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being involved with this. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be able to do another one of these in person at some point soon, and get you guys at one of the in-person events that we do as well. And would love to stay in touch. We are going to be also, we're working on kind of a funding portal for the startups within our network as like an ongoing thing, and then going to give access to the investors in our network on the back end so they can see all the startups that have been applying for our pitch competitions, and then just in general looking for pre-seed and seed funding as well. But really appreciate you guys being a part of this. And, you guys don't have to stick around for networking. We want to respect your time. And I know everyone's probably busy at home with family and all sorts of stuff. So thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you everyone for joining.